Hold on to your seats, coin fans, because this might be the most exciting coin story you'll ever hear. Picture this: you pick up a humble 2000D Maryland quarter and discover it's not just a regular coin. It could be a once-in-a-lifetime error that's unbelievably rare, and worth an eye-watering amount. Maybe $75,000, maybe $89,000, maybe even $100,000 or more. Yes, that's right. By the time we finish, you'll know how a simple quarter could make you feel like you've hit the jackpot. Now, the 2000D Maryland quarter was part of the U.S. Mint's 50-state series, and it was minted at the Denver Mint, which is what the D stands for. On one side, you have George Washington, and on the other side is the Maryland State House, flanked by oak branches, with the year 1788 marking when Maryland joined the Union. Pretty neat, right? Millions of these were made of over 556 million, so most are just common coins worth their face value or maybe a few dollars if in perfect condition. In fact, most of these coins just sit in jars or piggy banks. A coin in average condition is hardly worth more than its face value, about 25 cents, and even in mint state, it might only bring in $3 to $5 or so. If you have one in top grade, say MS-65 or MS-68, it might be worth up to $275 or a bit more. That's interesting, but not life-changing. But every now and then, the mint trips up. Sometimes mistakes happen during the coin-making process, and those errors can turn a plain coin into something a collector would pay big for. These errors include off-center strikes, missing layers, double dies, or most astonishingly a mule. Let me break those down a bit. An off-center strike happens when the blank coin isn't perfectly aligned with the design die, so part of the image is cut off. If it's a tiny off-center, it might fetch $10 to $20. Bigger misalignments, say 20 to 40% off-center, can go for $20 to $100, and if 50% or more is missing, you're talking over $100. Then there's the missing clad layer error. Most modern quarters are made with layers of nickel and copper, and sometimes one of those layers doesn't get applied properly. You get a weird, discolored surface. These are rare and can sell for $500 to $1,000 or even more. A double die is when the mint hits the coin twice with a slightly different alignment. That can make letters or numbers look doubled. No well-known double die for the 2000 Maryland quarter has been confirmed yet, but if one turns up, it could be quite valuable. Other state quarters with similar errors can go for over $100. Now here's where things get absolutely wild: mule errors. That's when a coin has mismatched designs, like heads from one coin and tails from another. In 2000, they accidentally struck a Sacagawea dollar planchet with the obverse of a Washington quarter. Only 39 were ever made, only 12 are in Fort Knox, and one sold for a staggering $88,125 in 2013. That is real cash, in real life. Imagine if something like that happened with a 2000D Maryland quarter. That would be mind-blowing. You could have Washington on one side and something totally mismatched on the other. If such a mule exists, and if it's in great condition, say, graded MS-66 or higher, it could realistically fetch $75,000, $89,000, or even $100,000 or more. It's not just a dream, it's what happens when mint mistakes meet rarity meets pristine condition. To put it simply, most 2000D Maryland quarters are worth very little. But if you manage to find one with a major error, especially a mule, it could be your ticket to a fortune. Still, such coins are extremely rare. They may exist, but they could be hiding in change, melting in piggy banks, waiting to be discovered by someone who just takes a closer look. Here's what you should do. When you find a 2000D Maryland quarter, pick it up and look carefully. Get a magnifying glass or loupe. Is the design centered or off? Do you see any discoloration, missing layers, doubled images? Most importantly, flip it over and check if the two sides match. If the heads and tails don't belong together, you may have discovered a mule. That's when your heart starts racing, right? If you see something strange, take clear photos under bright light and weigh the coin. Sometimes errors change the weight. Then submit it to a reputable grading service like PCGS or NGC. If they confirm it's a mule or a major error in high grade, prepare for serious value. If it's one of those mythical mule errors, you could be holding a coin that sells for $75,000, $89,000, $100,000, or more. Even if you don't have a mule, you could still have a valuable coin. A missing clad layer error or a strong off-center strike could still net you a few hundred or even $1,000. Not bad for a small piece of change. To wrap it up, picture your 2000D Maryland quarter as more than just 25 cents. Most are common, but some hold the potential to blow the roof off value charts. The ordinary coins are worth next to nothing in most cases, but rare errors, especially the heavyweight mule errors, can turn one of your spare coins into major money. Whether you're casually inspecting your change or carefully examining your collection, look twice. That little quarter could change everything.